I can't believe that this time last year, LA was on fire. I was packing up my home in case I had to evacuate. I've said this then and I'm saying this now, but reading is my favorite way to just escape and de-stress and pretend I'm like living somewhere else. I cannot believe I read 12 books this month. Let's do a reading wrap up because all 12 of them indeed helped me escape. You guys know I am in a hockey kick right now. My favorite hockey series is the Vancouver Storm series by Stephanie Archer. So my friends who love that series recommended the DC Star series by Chelsea Curto. And this is about a female main character who ends up playing on the male NHL team. I felt like this wasn't my favorite book ever. I kind of felt like most of this book was just the two of them trying to figure out how to say I love you to each other, and I was a little bit bored, honestly. But I did hear that the other books in this series are really good. So if you guys have read the series, let me know if I should continue. Overall, I gave it 3 stars. And then on to my favorite series at this moment, the Addicted series by Becca and Krista Ritchie. So they're actually twins. So this entire series is about 3 different book couples. The first 3 are about Lily and Lo. Lily is a sex addict and Lo is an alcohol addict. So you guys already know how much chaos is gonna be in that. And then we have Kiss the Sky, which goes into Lily's older sister, Rose, and her boyfriend, Connor. But let me tell you, the filth that came out of Connor's mouth like literally made my jaw go on the floor. You guys, he is freaky. I think Connor is literally one of my favorite MMCs ever. I gave these 2 books a 4-star, but this one, hands down the easiest 5-star ever. I was up until midnight finishing it. I just love the drama. I love the mess. I love the chaos, but I also love a found family. If you love Gossip Girl and Euphoria, I feel like this series, I think you guys will love it too. And you guys, I actually read a fantasy book for the first time in what feels like forever. I read Direbound by Sable Sorenson, and not only did I read it, you guys, but I annotated it. I have just like this fear, I don't know what it is. I cannot write in books. I love to keep my books like super perfect. I don't dog ear pages. I don't like to break the spine. So just for me, writing in a book was just so terrifying. But let me tell you, I really needed it because the thing with me and romantasy lately is just like the world building and just being super invested. So I felt like I have just not been reading romantasy because I just don't want to use all the brain power, okay? I am not afraid to admit that. What I loved about this book, which I feel like other people might not really like, is that this book is so generic. And what I mean by that is like your cookie cutter romantasy book plot, but I ate it up. This was so easy to read. This one has trials, it has wolves, it has very much so Fourth Wing vibes. But I think what I love the most about this book is that the pacing was incredible. Literally, there was not a moment where I felt like there was a dull or a lull. And the last 10% of this book was insane. I'm gonna ask a question. I want you guys to let me know. When there are 2 male main characters, one is blonde and the other one is like dark and broody, which one do you guys like more? Okay, I have been in my audiobook phase, you guys, and I listened to Fragile Sanctuary by Cowles. This is how I know I have a problem, because I have the physical book, then I checked it out on Kindle Unlimited, and when you check out certain books on Kindle Unlimited, then you'll get a discount on the audiobook for sometimes as low as $5 or $6. So that is what I did, but I ended up listening to this one and it was so good. I love the dual narration. This one is a small town romance. There's mystery and suspense in it with your brother's best friend. So there is somebody after the FMC. So you're wondering who done it in this entire book, but this book had me on the edge of my seat. And I feel like if you love Elsie Silver, I think you would really love Cowles' writing. But this is the first one in the Sparrow series, and I will definitely be continuing it. Very, very good. And then I started reading Game Changer by Reid. Oh my god, I cannot get enough of Heated Rivalry, you guys. So what I didn't know is that the books are set up differently from the show. So the show, you have mostly Shane and Ilya with a little bit of Scott and Kip. But in the Game Changer series, the first book is based off Scott and Kip, and then it goes into different book couples. There's a total of 5 book couples, if I remember correctly, and there's currently only 2 books about Shane and Ilya, with a 3rd one coming out. So I would say if you love the show, definitely read Game Changer. I would say that honestly, the show is better than the book, but you can't have one without the other. So if you love Scott and Kip, definitely read this because it gives you way more details about the individual characters and also themselves and what they're going through. So definitely read this. I think I gave this one like a 3-ish stars. It was hard. I felt like I want to give it 4 because of the show, but I feel like the book itself was a 3. And TBH, I feel like I would have DNF'd this book if it wasn't for the show. So Just keep that in mind, but I think a lot of people would agree that this is like all smut and no plot, which, you know, if that's your vibe, then absolutely go for it. Then I read My Blade, You're Back. I actually did the audiobook for it too. This is book 2 in the Dark Versus Duet, and you guys know that I also really liked Your Knife, My Heart. The first one I gave a 4-star, but this one, you guys, this was the easiest 5-star for me. Please, if you read this, please do the audiobook. But it was so good. Just think about like a deep, sultry British accent. Chef's kiss. The only thing I would say though, I feel like the pacing of the voices for the female main character and the male main character were a little bit off. So I like to listen at around like 1.75 speed. So for the female's voice, it was like perfect. But then when it got to the male's voice, it was like way too slow. So I would speed that up. And then when it would go to the female chapters, like it was kind of off. The other thing, and I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I was listening to the book on speakerphone or in my car, it was really hard to decipher the words for the male voice actor. But when I was listening to it on my AirPods, like I had no problem. So just keep that in mind. But I thought this was overall so good. I am aware of the recent backlash for Moronova, and my only thing is, personally for me, I feel like people can be a little bit too quick to cancel other people. I feel like, especially without the full context and hearing the other person speak like publicly about it, I feel like it's easy to spiral, especially if you don't give the other person a chance to like speak up or giving them the space to clarify. Okay, and then the next one, you guys might think I'm a little crazy. If an author says a book can be standalone or all the books in a series can be read standalone, I'ma read them out of order, okay? And that is what I'm doing with the Twisted series. So I actually read Twisted Hate first. This is book number 3 in the series. Honestly, I can't remember much about what happened in Twisted Hate. I don't know what that says, but I gave this one 4 stars. I thought it was good, okay, you guys, but the only thing about me, and I think it's just very personal, but I don't really like to read books where the MMC is an Asian doctor. I don't know. I feel like I just get a little like too much traumatized by it. I don't know. Traumatized and remembering like the people I used to date like back when I was on the apps and stuff, and I don't know, like it just the ones I've met were just very douchey, so maybe that has to do with it. But I will say though that Josh Chen in this book, he was not douchey at all. If I saw him in real life, would I be attracted to him? I don't know, but I like kind of pretended when I was reading this like he had a different face, so I don't know, you guys. Okay, but just forget I said all of that. This was still a really solid book. Okay, but let me tell you guys about Twisted Lies, because this one was absolutely a 5-star read for me because of 2 things. So first of all, I feel like I relate to the female main character, Stella. I feel like there's parts of her that I really relate to as someone who's like getting new into the whole bookish content creating life. I don't know why I didn't go into a more creative field. I ended up going into science, like studying biology, majoring in stem cell biology, and sometimes I regret not going into a more creative career path, but I feel like, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm kind of doing it now, so I'm not really regretting it, but I just relate to Stella so much. And then not only that, we have Christian, who is a morally gray MMC, and you guys, when I tell you, my favorite part was when he was invited to Stella's family dinner, and okay, mind you, her family is like super toxic. When Stella admitted that she lost her job and her parents were like up in arms, he stood up for her, and that was a moment I was like, I'm confirmed, I love you so much, Christian Harper. But you guys, absolutely applause for this one. And look at me doing my 3rd audiobook of this month. This is Thorn Season by Kiera Azar. I actually bought this book last summer or last fall purely because of the cover, because how gorgeous is this? Like, it's very much so giving Bridgerton vibes. Absolutely gorgeous. I felt like this book fell flat for me. I kind of had high hopes. This is kind of like along the lines of Heartless Hunter and Rose Bargain. This is a YA romantasy, by the way. And this one has like the plot of the hunter versus the hunted, and I just kind of felt like the audio, so I listened to the audiobook and it was solid. The voice and everything, the structure and the quality of the audiobook was good, but I feel like the story itself fell flat for me, and honestly I feel like I blacked out for the first half of the book because I was also listening to it when I was painting my room. Also, if you're wondering, new background, who dis? I am painting my entire office this earthy green color, and I have like 3 of the 4 walls right now. But let me tell you guys, moving all the bookshelves and all the books. You guys only see one, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 different bookshelves that I still need to move, and it's so much work. But I feel like I did black out for the first 50% of this book because I'm kind of like, what's going on? Like, why are there so many characters? Who are all these people? It's like that part in SpongeBob and Patrick is like, who are you? Are you my mom? Who are you, Marty? But like, that's kind of like how I felt. But I also at the same time felt like I understood where the story was going. Like, I'm like, okay, we are going somewhere. This is actually my second attempt at this book because the first time I was physically reading it and I couldn't get really past the first 5%. So that's why I'm glad I did do the audiobook. But I felt like this was nothing really special. I wasn't in love with any of the characters. The female main character was a little bit like, she was trying so hard to be so strong and it came across a little immature for me. But maybe book 2 will be better because this is Kiera's debut novel. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I feel like I didn't hate it enough to like not continue the series. So we'll see where it goes. The second one comes out this October. And now, saving the best for last, I have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. My first book from her was Atmosphere, and I know that some of her very, very popular books are like The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the 6. So imagine you're married to your high school lover and he supposedly dies in this tragic helicopter accident. So you end up moving on and you're about to marry someone else when you get this call one day that your supposedly dead husband is now alive and he's coming back home. So, oh my God, this book was literally the definition of drama, you guys. And I just feel, you guys, like there's just something about the way Taylor Jenkins Reid describes a story. Okay, she's so good. It was captivating from the beginning. But what this book really made me think about is like, if you had the opportunity to be with somebody again or bring someone back to life, what would you do? I think what this book taught me the most was that even if there are people I no longer talk to, you know, gone through a friendship breakup, which by the way, I feel like friendship breakups hurt so much more than a relationship breakup because I feel like relationship ones, like usually it's an amicable decision, like I don't want to be with you anymore. It's like firm, like okay, we are no longer together. But friends, it's like you can break up but like you can still be friends, or like I don't know, I feel like I've gone through a few and it really hurts. But going back to my point, I feel like what this book has taught me is that even if there's people who have hurt me in the past, if we're not friends anymore, I feel like I did at the end of the day become a better person because of them. And because of that, I'm kind of like thankful for that too. I didn't sob in this book like Atmosphere did, but it was still so good. This was a 5-star read for me. All right, we made it to the end, you guys. I think the thing I'm proud the most of is actually listening to audiobooks. That is one of my New Year's resolutions. But if you've made it to the end, let me know what your best read in January was. What are you guys reading for the next month? I'm so excited because I am getting more into romantasy, you guys. So I cannot wait to talk about that with you in my next video next week. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!